Hey, girl.
Hey,
Hey,
how are
beautiful.
you? Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been just like admiring your locks. I'm just a baby locker, so I've been just admiring your
Girl,
locks all day.
welcome to the club.
Thank
Thank you. Yours is
you.
so pretty though. Like you started at a good length too.
Yeah, I was like mid back when I sleep, but they shrink up. So
They do shrink up, but yours are perfect. Like you done
thank
got
you.
them. You got them already in the bun stages and stuff. I wasn't even
Yeah.
near
Oh, I stay in a
that.
bun. Yes, I stay in a bun.
Look. No, how was your day today? What's going on?
Monday's been good. It's the beginning of the week. I have a day job. I'm an elementary school teacher,
Oh,
so
you
I got
are?
a day. I am.
Yes, that's
So
so amazing.
yeah.
Are you guys virtual or okay? That's
So I'm gonna say about that. It's crazy.
it's
It's actually
crazy.
second grade, so it's the baby, so it's hard.
Oh, I know their attention span is like everywhere. They ain't trying to like really listen to what you saying. They like,
Exactly, and
girl,
I don't blame
trying to get
them.
on this game. I
Okay,
know.
they're 7.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna lie. I've been fangirling a little bit. You feel me? Like I've been looking
Okay.
into you a little bit. Like seriously. Like I was like, okay, let me look into this girl's page and all that kind of stuff. And I've been seeing all of your like videos, and then I see what you've been doing. Like you got the what's the name of it? Black Pole Goddess
Yes.
page going up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like
Yes.
I didn't
Thank you.
like seriously, you out here doing your thing, and I
I'm
admire
trying. I'm
that.
trying. I appreciate that.
Girl.
Thank you.
Seriously, I already told you in the DM, and I'm like, bruh, like, we need more women like you and I, like, out here preaching the word. It's not enough of us.
Absolutely, especially women of color. Talking about it.
Say
So
that,
I peeped you
please.
too, and you with the shits like me, so I couldn't wait to talk to you because yeah.
Girl. Seriously. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I want to let you go ahead and brag a little bit, you know?
Okay. Well, my name is Evelyn. My IG is It's Evelyn Irene, and I'm a sex educator and also a sensual movement artist. So I also teach pole dance, I teach twerk, I teach chair dance, I teach floor
Yes.
movement. So I'm all about just anything that has to do with sensuality. I'm all in, right? And then I
Yes.
also have, yeah, I have a clothing line with my friend called Creatrix, and right now we have merch called Magical Pussy, where it's about the magic of the pussy manifesting through the pussy. So we have that going
Mm.
on. Yes.
Okay, come on.
Yes. And then of course, the page that I co-run called Black Pole Goddess, where we basically highlight women of color who are pole dancing or doing anything sensual, just making a safe space and building community for women to be able to be themselves and to celebrate each other and find each other so they can follow each other and cheer each other on because it's important for us to have a safe space to do us. So that's what
Yes.
Black Pole Goddess has become.
That's amazing. Come on, girl. Do the work.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all I can
Yes.
say. Seriously, like when I was on your page, I was looking at all the different dancers and I'm like, this is amazing. Like you don't see anything like that. Like you don't see other women, black women especially, like praising each other for doing things sensually or, things like pole dancing. Like that is like I'm trying to get into that first of all.
Oh, girl. Whenever
Girl,
you're
I ain't
ready,
got
let
the
me
I ain't
know.
got the I ain't got the core. I gotta work on it now. Hold on.
That's how you get it. You get it through the work. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that later. Anywho.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yes. Okay. So anyway, so I had to write down my little outline. So let's get straight on into it.
Okay.
Okay, so manifestation through masturbation. Let's kind of talk about it. Let's kind of like dissect what that means. First of all, how did you even find out about it?
Yeah, so I found out about it kind of organically. So a few years, well, manifestation I've already known about. Like you can manifest through many different things. Sex is just like one way to manifest, but there's many ways. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as learning through masturbation, I was just masturbating regular one day, not even with any kind of intention.
Okay.
And when I had an orgasm, this orgasm felt different. Like when I
It
tell you it felt
did.
different, yeah. So it felt like I don't have children. I've never given birth, but people say you don't know love until you have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I literally felt like I had a baby on my chest. Like it just felt the
Ooh.
orgasm felt like love. It didn't feel like how when the orgasm is kind of lustful or it can be just a release. This
Yeah.
this orgasm wasn't a release. It was more it filled me up. I felt like warm
Okay.
through my heart. I promise you, girl. I never forgot it. I felt warm through my heart, and I just felt full of like love. It felt different. And so when I was done, I
Yeah.
said, "Ooh, let me Google." because I didn't know anything about like sex and spirituality. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
Googled, is sex spiritual or orgasm spiritual? So I was like, what the fuck just happened? Something different
Right.
happened for me.
Right. Like
And
an
then
outer body experience, kind of.
yes, it was different. Like
Yeah.
this was years ago, and I remember this specific orgasm many years later. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like, so I came across sex magic like that, and then I started just putting what I had seen with what I felt in my body and what I already know about manifestation, and then
Mhm.
made it work for me.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how it came about.
That's dope. Like I never even heard of the term until I don't know if you've heard of the chocolate dom. Have you heard of her?
No.
She's a dominatrix. She's a femdom, and she had this little video on IG, and she was just talking about it and how you can like basically harvest any of your desires and things of that nature, and just manifest them when you're in the midst of an orgasm. I'm like, hold on, wait, what the hell? Hold on,
Period.
what kind of spiritual shit is this? So I looked it
Oh,
up like how you did, and then I'm like, okay, so how do I practice this shit? And so then that's what kind of led me onto this whole spiritual and sexual journey and things like that and how to correlate the two. And from there, I kind of had a similar experience, like it was outer body. And I'm like, wait, I can make myself feel this way? Like, hold on
period.
now. What I need a nigga
Come
for?
on now.
Hold on.
Yes.
For real. Like that shit was totally mind blowing to me.
It
So
changes you.
girl,
Mhm.
I ain't never so for
Period. And you know
you,
what?
go ahead.
People always think that well, not everyone, because we have learned this, but we oftentimes separate sexuality and spirituality, right? Like a
Yeah.
church is like, and religion is over here, and then sexuality is over here, and it's bad, but they're very much the same. They're very
They
much the same.
are. They
You feel
really
me?
are. That's what kind of sparked me to do this page actually because like before I did this page, I had a podcast called Edibles where I would just talk about sex, just talk shit. Like, I was on my little hoe phase and things like that. And I'm just talking shit about it. But I never actually tapped into, like the spiritual side of it. I didn't even know that there was a spiritual side of it. So that's kind
Yeah.
of what I feel like edibles was like my coming into womanhood, whereas now I'm there. Like I'm like on a higher frequency now. And I can actually use sex to my advantage. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be anything where it's like, okay, I'm just using you for dick or I'm just trying to get an orgasm. It's actually the process of it that I'm enjoying now.
Come
And
on.
you get what I'm
Yes.
saying. So you
I
already know.
feel you. Yes, and you talked about like going through that whole phase. I think
Mhm.
that we just organically have to go through what we go through and we come to it on our own terms, right? Because you can
Mhm.
be just like not sexual and then you can read all these books, but you gotta go through it. You gotta go through the mud and figure yourself out, make mistakes, and come to it organically in your own time, right?
You
In
do.
your own
You
time.
do. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when people ask me, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm like, I can give you these jewels or whatever, but it's not going to be anything if you're not applying it, if you're
That
not
part.
actually exploring it for yourself.
Thank
So,
you. And
yeah.
if you're not
Come
ready for
on.
it, girl.
Keyword ready.
Okay, ready for it.
That's gonna
Yes.
be the word for the evening. Ready. Are you
Yes.
ready? Okay. So, have you ever experienced any difficulties while trying to manifest, or really while being in the moment while masturbating? Like, have you ever had that? Because I know that I've had that
Yeah.
issue of trying to tap in.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Especially in the beginning. And also, even now, I don't really sit down to do a sex magic session. Like, I don't be like, okay, I'm sitting here on the couch, I'm going to go do sex magic. I already
Mm-hmm.
be in the mood to masturbate. And then I decide, oh, let me be intentional about this for me
Yeah.
personally. So if I try to like do it just for the sex magic, it's really hard for me to like tap in to get comfortable. But some things that I do if I am actually in it in order to stay focused is I am a very visual person. So when I was in college, I used to run track. I used to do the hurdles. And so before
Mm.
every meet, I would visualize my race. I would literally sit there, close my eyes, not talk to nobody, and I would see myself coming to the first hurdle, to the second hurdle, and I watch myself go through a whole entire race. So that's kind of how I approach sex magic as well. If I
Mm-hmm.
have an intention, there's many ways to do it, but if I have an intention, while I'm masturbating, I'm gonna be visualizing myself receiving what it is I'm trying to receive,
Mm-hmm.
being my body in that feeling that I want to be in. So
Mm-hmm.
one way to do it is make a scene. So like for instance, say you want to manifest, say you lined up a really bomb interview for this bomb job you really want, and
Mm-hmm.
you have the interview tomorrow. what I would do is I would sit there before I start masturbating. I would meditate on it. I drop it to my body. I would find that feeling of how I feel in that interview. I find that confidence. And while I'm masturbating, I'm visualizing myself walking into that interview like a bad bitch. What am I wearing?
Yes.
Right? How am I
Yes.
feeling? You know, I'm
Paint
making
the
eye
picture.
contact.
Yes.
I'm painting the picture, and I'm masturbating as I'm doing it, building up that sexual energy throughout the whole scene. I'm watching a
Yes.
movie of me moving through this interview with confidence. I'm imagining the next day getting that email that you got this job. I'm imagining how I feel when I get that email, get that phone
Mm-hmm.
call. And by the time I come, I done already got the job, bitch. Like, it's
Come
mine. You know what
on.
I'm saying?
Come on.
So that's
Woo!
how, yeah. So that's how I stay focused, because I'm visualizing it as I'm going through it. Or
Mm-hmm.
you might maybe do an affirmation. So maybe there's something, or a mantra that you're repeating as you're masturbating. Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna say, like, the job is mine, the job is already mine. Maybe you're saying it over and over again as you masturbate.
Yes.
Maybe you are visualizing yourself, a picture of you sitting at, I don't want to sit at no desk, but whatever you're doing that you love, you're just
Yeah.
a picture of it. And then if your mind starts to wander, that's okay. Just like a meditation, your mind wander is going to do that.
Yep.
Come back to it. Don't force
That's
anything you
it.
force, ain't gonna work. So let it wander,
That's
let it do
it.
its thing, but always just try to make your way back to that
Mm-hmm.
intention. So that's my suggestion on all of that.
Yes. Okay, perfect. I like what you said there too, like the confidence aspect. Like you go into the interview with the confidence. I feel like that's like a turn on for me. You know, a lot of people say like confidence is sexy and stuff. That kind of helps build the sexual energy, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
hey, I like what you said
Yes.
there. Okay,
For
okay.
real.
No, seriously. So, do you feel like men should also practice this manifestation through masturbation as well?
I absolutely do. I don't think that anything spiritual is only for men or only for women, right? I think that
Mm-hmm.
manifestation requires both, like, your feminine, masculine energy, or yin yang. Because some people don't like feminine, masculine because it's very,
Mm-hmm.
so you can say yin and yang energy, but we all have it. Whether you're a
Please
woman,
tell
man,
it.
non-binary, you have those energies inside of you. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you only have feminine energy, or you're a man, you only have masculine energy. So as a man, you need to be able to honor
Tap
your feminine
in.
energy, tap
Mm-hmm.
into that yin energy. As long as you're connected to source and you're connected to source power. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
gatekeeping in spirituality. There ain't no gatekeeping where only a woman can do it
Come
or only a
on.
man can do it, right? But you got to be tapped in. So a lot
Yes.
of times you got to be able to go there with yourself, and you got to be able to tap into that feminine energy in
Mm-hmm.
order to do this.
I completely agree. And I'm trying to figure out where in history did we just like say, okay, men are strictly masculine. There's no feminine in you whatsoever. You can't even tap in with yourself. You can't love on yourself and things like that. And then where did we say like women is only emotional? Because if people really looked into it, the Kundalini energy is very, very, very like we're
Yes,
really like literally we have a lot of masculine energy built up in us, and
absolutely.
a lot of people don't tap into that, or they allow it to build up and they don't know what it is, and they just lash out at people and things like that
Exactly.
without studying what it is. So I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah, it's a balance, right? You can't have too
It
much of
is.
either one. That's when it's a problem, when there's a
Exactly.
too much masculine energy or too much feminine energy. Right now in the world, there's like a big surge of masculine energy happening, so we need to balance it out. We need to bring some feminine energy, some of that
Yes.
yin energy into this. But yeah, we all have it. We all need both to be able to do what we
Hmm.
do, right? Because
Exactly.
even with manifestation, that feminine energy is what's going to create, but that masculine is going to be the action to carry that creation
Hmm.
into reality. So you need both to work together,
Yes,
for
say
sure.
that. Come over here and preach. Please, come on. It ain't even Sunday. Come on.
Period.
So one thing that I get a lot of, and honestly, this guy that I'm talking to now, he feels that what I do is like witchcraft. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He associated when I told him about how I told him that I used him, first of all. I told him that I used his picture, to help me kind of like orgasm or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
he's fine. He is fine. But I didn't tell him that I was manifesting him. I just said, I just used your picture so that way I can like kind of come. Like, you're just so
Uh-huh.
fine. I feel like that helps. And he
Right.
was like, what kind of witchcraft is that or whatever? And I was trying to explain to him what this is, like what manifestation through masturbation is, and he was not understanding it. But there's a lot of people that actually feel that you're tapping into witchcraft, or just like you're a witch or anything like that, and you're casting spells. So I'm wanting to like dismantle that whole notion that this is what that is, because that's completely opposite. But even, I mean, in a sense, you can say that, I guess. But at the same time, I feel like they're putting a negative view on it.
Yeah.
And so
So
I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
no, my question to him would be, I would ask him like, well, what is a witch? You know, because I think people say that, but what is a witch? Because a witch, I need to, so labels to me with anything are very problematic in any way, because when a label only lets you understand me more than, you know, I don't need a label. If you call me a witch, that's so that you can understand me better. But
Yeah.
so let's start. What is a witch? Is it a bitch with a green face and a hat and a cauldron? Like, is it that? Is a witch someone who is casting evil spells on people? What? Tell me your definition of a witch so I can let you know if I align with that. I
Right.
feel like I am someone who is tapped into my personal power, my birthrights, right? I feel like I use the power that's within me to live the life that I want to live, and I'm still working on that. I'm got a ways to go. Ain't nobody already there yet, but
Period.
you gotta let me know what is a witch to you. Also,
Yeah.
when you are watching TV and these advertisers are using colors and sounds and images to make you buy something, is that witchcraft? Are they putting spells on you? Are you calling them a witch or nah? Like,
Come
what is a
on.
witch? What is a spell? What
Come
is a
on.
spell? You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I gotta know.
seriously.
Yeah, I gotta know your definition of what you're talking about. So, if spell work to you is me using the energy that I have inside of me to manifest what I want, then yeah, I'm casting spells on myself. If that's a witch to you, then yes. If not, then no. I'm gonna tell you what I am. I'm gonna define myself, and then you figure out if that fits into your definition or not. But I don't give a fuck.
That makes complete sense. And I didn't even think to ask him that. You know what? I'm gonna ask him that as soon as we get off this call. Like, what you think of
Yeah, what is
Let's
it? Because then
revisit that
yeah,
conversation. You know.
yeah. Let me know
No,
what
but
you
that's
think it
very
is, because I can't say yes or no. I don't even know. With language and with words, we attach so many meanings to it that, you know, it's hard for me to label myself as anything. You know, like it
no,
was hard. It's hard for
seriously.
me to even call myself a feminist. And feminist is supposed to be a nice word, but I read an article from a feminist who was bashing sex workers and bashing, you know, women who are sexually free. So it's like I when I call myself something, it leaves room for you to then put definitions to what that is. If I just tell you what I am and what I do and leave it at that, then you do
Then
with that
yeah.
what you will.
Because at the end of the day, people like to put you in a box.
That part.
So that's why you have to literally make your own definition. Like you just
Exactly.
said. I love that.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, come on. So mutual masturbation. Have you ever tried that?
Yes, I don't do that often. Well, there's two ways of mutual masturbation. We're talking about if you're solo sex with another person in the room, or are we talking about like you're pleasing another person, touching them like they're touching you? Because there's two ways to talk about mutual masturbation.
Well, I was speaking on with another person in the room while you're touching on yourself, but honestly, we can go there on both ends. Have you tried both?
I've done both, and I think that
Okay.
there's benefits to both, especially if we're talking about solo sex where I'm touching me, you're touching you, we're in the same room. I think that that's very much overlooked. I think there's lots of benefits to that. For
Mm,
instance, especially when we talk about if, like, I have a vagina, if my partner has a penis, sex is very penis centered, especially in our society. It's
mm.
very penis centered. So when we're having sex, you might not even be doing what I need you to do to get me off, right? You might not even know you penetrating me. You're not,
Probably didn't turn me on all the way.
you know what I'm saying? Like in my younger years, there's been plenty of times where I faked it, and I never
Oh my
fake
gosh.
it now. I ain't faking shit now. But
Hell
we do
no.
that, okay? But we do that because we're not being pleased and we don't know how to teach
Communicated.
somebody how to do it, right?
Hmm.
So if you're doing mutual masturbation, there's many benefits. One benefit is you get to watch me please myself, and you get to see how I like to be touched, the speed I like to touch myself at, my
Hmm.
erogenous zones. Yes, communication is key. I saw that uncommon. Communication is key, and
Yes.
I get to tell you and I get to show you. Watch where I touch myself. Are they circles? Am I patting it? How many fingers am I using? Am I putting some spit on it? You know what I'm
Be
saying? Like,
attentive. Come on.
be attentive. Where? Because we have lots of erogenous zones. You get in all of them. Watch me do me, right? And then I get to also watch you do you. So I
Yes.
get to see how do you like to be touched, and we can talk about it. I can see you, right? Also, masturbation is completely pleasure centered. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
worried about trying to please you. I'm not worried about how you feel. I want you to feel good, but you're taking care of that by yourself, and I'm taking care of me. And in doing that, I'm watching you and me seeing you is exciting me. So now I'm getting more excited. You know, it's
Yes.
feeding. It's feeding itself.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
it's just this pleasure centered space where we're both trying to feel good. We can see how we like to be
Mm-hmm.
touched. In the age of COVID, it's safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're far away, but even STDs, you know, there's safety in mutual masturbation.
This is
Um,
true.
yeah, so you can do it long distance. I have done that. You do on over Skype. You know what I'm saying? You do
That's
over
what I
the
was gonna
phone,
say. Yep, that's the only type of mutual that I've done is with FaceTime or whatever. So
and it's
like
great. It's great,
it
right?
is. Girl, yes. Like you said though, watching them please themselves or whatever, that really does turn you on. And like you said, you can really learn what type of speed they like it at, what areas kind of get them off a little bit faster or just whatever. Like everything. Hold on, wait. Somebody just said that's why I ask my women what does she like. Yeah, no, seriously. And honestly, I feel like when you just ask, sometimes we can forget. Like, just by asking me, I can just tell you a couple of things off the top of my head. But when we're actually mutually masturbating, like you just said, you can see me doing everything. You can see because I might have left something out when we were talking. So if you're
Yes.
watching me and you're really observing,
And then try it, and then you do it. Now you take your turn and you touch me how I touch
yes,
myself, right? And
yes.
like I don't know his name was, but like you said, we can talk about it afterwards. You know, we don't
Mm-hmm.
talk enough. We just assume
Oh, say
that
that.
whatever the person well, they assume because we're faking it, we're moaning when it don't even feel good. So now
Mm-hmm.
they think that that was cool to do. But if we're honest and we feel like we trust each other and we can talk, then sex is
Mm-hmm.
better for both of us. I don't want to do nothing to you that you ain't really enjoying. Tell
Come
me if you don't
on.
like it. Please tell
Come
me so I'm not going to continue
on.
to do. I don't want to do shit that you don't like.
Wasting each other's time. Come on.
Yeah. So and vice versa. So yeah, mutual masturbation can definitely be a learning experience for you and your partner or partners who have many you're having sex with at the time because it could be more than one. But it's a way to kind of build intimacy, build connection, and it's just
Connection.
everybody coming at the same time that's in the room like that ain't bad. You feel me?
Come on.
Come
So,
on, yeah.
okay, so let's talk a little bit. Let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about the importance of making time for self-care. So we're talking about masturbation, we're talking about manifesting, but a lot of us make up excuses on why we don't have the time to even make time to do these things. So how can we say I don't want to say no to everyday life. Obviously, we have lives, but how can we try to incorporate this self time?
I mean, you have to. I feel like we're putting it to the side like it's an option, like it's secondary. But really,
Mm-hmm.
you can, but you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be moving through your life mad and upset, and you're gonna be doing things half-assed and
Yep.
not enjoyably. You know what I'm saying? So like we're talking about like masturbation and self-care, taking care of yourself. When you are full of pleasure, when you're taking care of yourself, then and only then can you then take care of others. Can you be happy at your job? Can you walk through your
Say
day
that.
feeling fulfilled? We can do it. We cannot do it. And there's a lot of people who don't. And look at how miserable people are walking around. You feel me? Like, it really should
Girl,
be an option, you know?
because when I have not had my daily dose, I'm not gonna lie. I'm an evil bitch. Don't mess with me. Like, come on.
Okay. Period. That's what we be like, oh, that shit got no dick. That's why they say shit like that. That's where that saying came from. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you are, and it ain't got to do with no dick, but when you are being pleasing yourself, because you don't need no
Mm-hmm.
dick, you don't need nothing else besides you really do move a little bit differently.
You
Like
do.
scientifically, like you have serotonin and oxytocin and all that coming through your body. Like it scientifically makes you happier. And when
Yes.
you're happy, you do shit differently. So especially when you're stressed, when you can't sleep,
And you're just letting it build up and you're not releasing it. Come
exactly. Let it
on.
go. Move it through your body. Release it out
Yes.
of your body.
Like I remember I was on Facebook, girl, and I saw this girl literally say something along the lines like um what did she say? She made it just basically seem like it's disgusting to masturbate. It's disgusting to touch yourself. Like she was saying, like it'll be a cold day in hell or something like that before you see me get bored enough to have to touch myself or to have to masturbate. And I'm like, wait, what? You don't want to touch yourself? What's wrong with it? Like, what's wrong with you?
How can you? So then I'm assuming that she's okay with somebody else touching her.
Mm-hmm.
How can you think it's nasty to touch you, but another motherfucker can touch you?
That's
It's your
exactly.
body. It's your body. I don't. That even the logic in that doesn't make no sense to me. That's just like some
Mm-mm.
shit you've been taught when you were a kid about not being able to. And, okay, let's take it a step further. How else in your life do you move when you feel like pleasuring yourself is bad and you have to sacrifice that part and you need other people to do it for you? When no self-lust, someone said that in the comments.
Yep.
When you got to do it yourself. Where else do you do that? How often are you cutting yourself off from pleasure at your job or with your spouse or with your kids?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't touch yourself and make yourself come, no judgment, but you judging me because you're talking about it's nasty. So like,
Come on, say that. No,
you know what I mean?
no judgment. Because no, literally, we're judging right now. Because how dare you say, like, how dare you put somebody else down for pleasing themselves? First of all, it's none of your business what I'm doing in my
Period.
bedroom. Secondly, you just open up the door to let me know what you are not doing in your bedroom. So let's talk about that, lady.
And I didn't ask. I didn't ask.
Right, I did
And,
it.
and here's the thing. You can literally do whatever you want. You do not have to masturbate if you don't want to. No one has to do anything they don't want to do. But when you start
Mm-hmm.
encroaching on what other people do and about how it's nasty or shameful, then that's when it becomes an issue.
It
Everyone's
does.
sex is their sex. How they want to do it, if it's consensual, that's it. That gets into like kinks that they like, anything.
Mm-hmm.
If it's consensual and it's me and my body, then who give a fuck about what you think about it?
Look, and I didn't want to say this, but I'm like, your sex gotta be trash because you don't even know what you like. Baby, you don't know what you like. You are allowing, like you said earlier, you're allowing someone else to determine what it is pleasurable for you. And
Period.
their idea of sex might not even be what you feel, what you could possibly feel that sex could be. Like,
Come
it
on,
might be
because
so limited.
exactly, if this, I don't know who this person was, but if they're a woman, if they're having sex with penises only, are they only getting penetrated? Like, what is happening with
Probably.
their body? Because most women don't even come through solely through penetration anyway. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you got to be able to please yourself and learn your own body before you. I'll be damned if I have to wait for somebody to make me come and I'll never get to do it by myself. Like,
You know what? And it's crazy how like I always talk about this, like with sex education and things like that, we were not taught how to masturbate. Obviously, we were
yeah,
not taught, that this is a safe haven. We were taught that it was bad, sinful, and things like that. When
yeah.
really, that should be your entry level into sex, is to please yourself. It's to understand your own
Yes.
anatomy. So, it's hard to talk to people that are like that because they're already closed minded. They're already still in that box of thinking that it's a bad thing. And I'm just like, how do you? I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say, how do you like try to educate them and try to convince them that this is something that is not shameful, but it's like they kind of got to figure out for themselves.
I
I don't know.
don't.
Right?
The
No,
answer
you're
is I
right.
don't.
I,
Like we talked about, we talked about in the beginning about you got to be ready.
yeah.
And this is something we're gonna take a little further than just sex. Okay, so I don't try to convince nobody of shit. I don't. If you are dead set in your ways, that could be racist people. If you are a racist motherfucker,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna argue with you about not being racist. I'm not gonna fuck
Yeah.
with you, and you better not fuck with me. But like, I'm not in the business of
Say that. You better
convincing.
not.
I'm not in the business of convincing anybody to do anything. So if
You're
you are
right.
someone who is like, oh hell nah, I'm not touching myself, that's nasty. Now it's different if you're like, I feel this way and I would like to explore why I feel this way.
Hmm.
That's different. But someone who's like,
Like dead
and I'm like,
set.
okay,
Like,
well, yeah, that's not my business. When you're ready, then we could talk, but I'm not about to try to like fight through it.
convince you, right? Like,
Yeah,
seriously, it's not your job at all. It's just
exactly.
crazy. I just hate that some people like spew that rhetoric around because then it makes other people who are curious about it, it kind of makes them like, oh, well, maybe the thoughts that I had are bad or whatever. So I hate it when people like that just start spreading shit like that. So that's where I
It's
try
definitely
to come
dangerous.
in and make everybody understand like what you feel, whatever you are desiring, as long as it's involving consensual adults, whether it's just by yourself or with other people, there's nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely, and that's the key word. If it's consensual, I don't care what you like to do, what you're into.
Mhm.
If it's consensual and you're not hurting anybody, then that is fine. And I don't even have to want to do it myself, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna tell you about it or tell you how I feel about what you do. And I would hope
Mhm.
that you don't do the same for me. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a lot of
Yeah.
people, and I've talked about this before. That's that shadow inside of you just jumping out. You feel
Mhm.
repressed. You want to do something, but you feel like you're afraid to do it. You're gonna be judged to do it. So you then judge other people who are already doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like even
Mhm.
me and you on this live talking about sex in this way is something that people could say something about. Like we're
Mhm.
doing something that people might want to do but are too afraid to do. So we're taking that on basically for other people to be
Yeah.
able to see it and to be able to understand like it's okay. But a lot of people who judge, really, they secretly want to do it themselves, and I see that, and I understand it.
Yes. No, seriously. Like I've seen that over the years of me having this platform available. Like some people will like praise me in private or whatever, but will not like praise me in public or anything because they're still scared and they're not completely open with themselves and stuff. So it's a beautiful thing. That's why I say that people like you and I are really needed.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's people out here that are seriously like thinking about some of the things that we talk about, some of the kinks that I talk about and things like that. They're like, "Oh, what is that?" And I've never heard of that, and I would like to try it, but then they're afraid to ever voice it. They don't have anyone that they can talk to about it.
yeah,
So that's why I'm so happy that we're here.
yeah. And and that's okay. Like if you're too afraid to talk about it and you want to talk about it in private, that is totally okay. As long as you're
Yes,
not bashing it in public, don't talk about it in private and bash it in public. That's when it gets,
girl.
but
That's when I.
yeah, but being nervous to talk about being nervous to talk about it is very normal and like
Mhm.
probably more normal than not. So it's okay. Just reach out to somebody who's willing to talk to you about it and you'll grow into it. You know, you don't have to talk about it and you never have to talk about it in public if you don't want to. But
No.
it's an inside job. It's a personal job. You ain't gotta be on Instagram making videos about it. You don't have to, but live it in your everyday life.
In
That's
your
the important
everyday
part.
life. Come
Yeah.
on, say that.
And don't be judging. That's nasty. It's ugly.
Say ugly.
That is ugly.
So you so silly. Um, but with masturbation, like we were pretty much discussing, we're really with sex in general. It is a connection with your higher self. As we already discussed, it's a connection with spirituality. There was this quote that I saw, and it said something like, "Hold on, wait, I wrote it down. Hold on. During orgasm, the awareness of the identity or ego is dissolved, so you can touch your infinite nature." And I love that. I love girl.
Perfect.
Perfect
Perfect.
explanation. So for that person, I don't think she ever watches my shit. But for that person that actually feels that it is disgusting or whatever, I want you to just think about it. Are you in touch with your nature? Like, are you really in touch with who you are? Are you, like, are you actually doing the work with yourself? Like, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than
Yes.
just. And I want people to understand that with masturbation and with sex in general, the ultimate goal is not always orgasm. It's literally the experience. It's the
I'm so glad you
intimacy.
said that.
Seriously, a lot of people they're rushing. That's why foreplay goes with like in 3 minutes for most men and things like that. And I read somewhere where it takes about like at least 15 minutes to get fully aroused for
Yeah.
women
Mm-hmm.
alone. So I just want other people or just people in general to understand that the orgasm, that's just like the cherry on top.
Yes.
Literally, when you can like learn my body, when you can like explore with me, when you can those little massages and just feeling all over
Yes.
my body, seeing what reactions you can get out of me and stuff like that, that's what the real turn on is.
Thank
Like
you.
seriously, the journey there.
Thank you. The build up. And
So,
that sexual energy, while we're talking about manifestation, that sexual energy is what's
mhm.
leading to the manifestation, that build up. And I'm so happy that you said that because a lot of women have issues orgasming. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Mhm.
times it's like they're trying so hard. They're thinking that the sex ain't sex unless you orgasm at the end. So we're lying to these motherfuckers about
No,
coming when we didn't come. Because then we feel like
exactly.
it's a fail if we didn't come at the end. And it's not. If you enjoyed yourself, if you were pleased and pleasured and you didn't orgasm, that is a success. That is a success. You know what I'm saying? Like and that being touched. I like to be touched and rubbed,
I
and
do so.
I can have sex and not come and be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like when we're so
Be
focused on
completely
it, that's when we
satisfied.
lose it.
Be
Yeah, that's what
completely satisfied. You're right. You're right. For the person who asked what book it is, I actually have it right here. It's called The Heart of Tantric Sex. So I'll post it later. But honestly, that book has so many gems, and yeah.
I need to get
um,
that. I'm gonna check that out. The Heart of
girl.
Tantric Sex.
Yep, I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, thank
Um,
you.
so last thing that I really want to touch on is, first of all, your page, like I said, is very, very dope.
Thank you.
I watched almost all your videos.
Thank you.
You have a very, 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 very elite playlist. So I wanted to tap into that as well. Like, I also read somewhere where it said that what you listen to, it really kind of depicts who you are a little bit. Um, so like I like to listen to things that kind of uplift me. I mean, of course, I like my little ratchet and everything like
Oh
that, a
yeah,
little
we all do.
quirky. But honestly, when I'm when I'm actually trying to manifest or masturbate and things like that, I have to listen to things that have like affirmations in it, things that kind of feed me. So, what
Yes.
are some things that, or what are some music that you like to, for one, dance to? Because for one, a lot of people don't know this. One way to heal your sacral chakra is through dance.
Absolutely.
And what's on your playlist? Like, what can we? Cause I need dibs. Like,
Well, first of all, I'm actually so excited that you even know it's my music because music is so important to me. It's so important. I
girl,
don't know if people know that, but like I can't dance to just anything. I like
mm-mm.
need to love it. I need to feel it to dance to it. So for you to notice that, thank you. I
Girl,
appreciate
yes. I was like,
it.
oh, girl, I ain't heard this song in so long. Or what is this?
Yeah.
For
Well, part of
real.
it is I love old school music.
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents always played that, so that just part of my upbringing was old school music.
Yes.
Um, so music that it has to be with the words, and not just the words, but the beat, like the melody, the
Yes.
music, the vibe of it, how it makes me.
Yes.
Because the music influences my movement. So there was a time when I did like an experiment, and I had the same combo, like the same movements, and I did it to two different songs and my
Mm.
movement changed depending on the song that I was listening to. I didn't do it the same. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
some
okay.
people can just dance and then they just overlay music over their movement. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't do that because I'm literally moving to the actual music that I'm dancing to. I'm
Right.
connecting to it's part the music to me is part of the experience. It's not just the movement. It's
Yes.
me like um entangled with the music.
Okay.
So that's what
That
I
makes
love.
sense.
I love like Erykah Badu. I love anything Erykah Badu. I
Yes.
love Jill Scott. I love Stevie Wonder. Love, love,
Oh,
love.
yes.
John Coltrane. So let me tell you about this experience. My friend, she was like kind of blown away by this. So there was a time. Have you ever done masturbated in front of the sun?
No.
Okay. So this is like a magical moment that I had. There was a few weeks ago, I had my playlist on and the sun was coming through my window. And you should try this. Everybody who's listening should try this. And you can like open yourself up to the sun, let the sun come down on your pussy, and it will warm it up. And then I like played my John Coltrane, got my mood
Ooh.
going together, and I felt like I was stuck in the sun. It was very interesting.
Oh
I felt like I was
shit.
in a little moment.
That sounds so intimate. Like, hold on, wait. Like, I'm
I
waiting on
felt
the
like
sun to
having
come
a
up
moment.
there. Like, what?
That's how
Oh
it felt. It was like the
shit.
sun that warms the earth wants to be all on me.
Yes.
Like that's how I
No,
felt. But
seriously.
the music moves me. So John Coltrane is one of my favorites too. I definitely recommend John Coltrane. But yeah, I like all kinds of different. I don't have a specific genre. I like it all. It's more about just the vibe, how I'm
Okay.
feeling that day. You know what I'm saying? I have, like you said, I have a like a good vibe, not to dance to, but just when I wake up, a good vibes playlist with all like my happy songs on it to just get me in the mood like for my day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, music, what you listen to, like you said, it will shape you. If you're sad
Yeah.
and you're listening to sad music, you're gonna be sitting in that, and that's okay if that's what you want to do. But just understand the power of the words you're listening to and the
Yes.
music and what it's doing to you.
Yes. No, seriously. Like, we don't understand, or we don't realize how it does play a huge role. Like, I remember one time I was like masturbating, and it was it threw my whole energy off. And like most of the times, like most people are saying like it doesn't matter what's playing in the background or whatever, and I'm like, nah, I can actually feel that. I can feel that energy. So I remember one time I had it on YouTube, and you know how YouTube will just play whatever next after you started something. Girl, play some R. Kelly, and it threw me the fuck off.
Oh yeah, now these days, yeah, for sure. When
No,
you think about what's going
seriously.
on.
Seriously. So like people don't realize like literally what the words are also saying kind of like manifests into your everyday life.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like I
Especially, yeah.
had go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just gonna say like I had to also create a playlist for in the morning as well. Like when I first wake up, I have to hear something that is very motivational, something that makes me want to get up, something that makes me want to go ahead and be like, all right, let's start this day, let's get this work day started, things like that. And it literally changed the whole trajectory of the day. Like it just
Yes.
literally the whole day was just fire.
Yes, absolutely. Because you putting that,
Seriously.
you're starting off with that vibe. You're putting that energy into yourself
Hmm.
throughout the day, for sure. And then even through, you was talking about, like while you're having sex or masturbating, the words we just talked about manifestation and affirmations. You're so opened up when you're having sex or when you're orgasming. You're so open, so you're allowing a lot of things inside of you. You got to make sure that it's what you want. If you listen to some music
Exactly.
that you don't want, you don't resonate with that, I probably wouldn't fuck with that while I'm masturbating or having
Girl.
sex.
Girl, no.
Yeah. It's important. It's important to me. I mean, some people might not care, but to me, the music is important.
It does. The whole setup is super duper important. So like you said, when you said the sun beaming down on you and then you had the music,
Yes,
girl, that sounded beautiful. That
it was a
sounded
vibe.
amazing. I know. Where did you hear that from? Or did you just randomly just do that because the sun was out or
I've
you heard
I've definitely heard of like sunbathing, like opening yourself up to the sun, but not masturbating to it. That's something that I just felt
uh-huh.
moved to do. So I felt moved to do it, and
Oh,
yeah, it was cool.
that is beautiful, girl. Is it sunny tomorrow?
Yes,
It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow. I don't even know. I'm ready.
girl, open it up like a flower, girl.
Girl, it will be.
Let it in.
Well, I want to thank you again for joining me. This was so dope. Like,
Yes, I
you
love your
just hit my
energy. I really enjoyed this.
girl. We're gonna keep this going, honestly. After the
For sure.
camera, we're gonna do this more often. Like, you are
Yes.
so sweet. I love you. Oh my
Thanks,
gosh.
love you too. Yes.
But is there anything that you want to leave us with? Anything that you have coming up? Let us know.
No, if you follow me at It's Evelyn Irene, and then also follow the Black Pill Goddess page, just to stay connected and to support other women who are trying to embody their pleasure and step into themselves.
Yes.
So follow that for just inspiration and just to support Black women trying to do their thing. And I'll have some things coming up soon, so stay connected with me so that you can see when I announce other things. Um, and also, if you are interested in any kinds of lessons, especially if it's movement, so pole, chair, twerk,
I'm
or
coming for that
sensual movement.
poll.
Yes, and also I have a link if you want to buy a pole for your home. There's a link in my bio where you can buy
I
your own
saw that.
pole.
I saw that. I gotta give me
Yes,
one. I just said
yes.
that I'm salty because I had a pole for years, and literally before I moved here 2 years ago, I had thrown it away, and I'm like, damn, why would I do that dumb shit,
No.
girl? Because I didn't know how they would react to my pole, because it left like marks in the ceiling and stuff like that. So I'm like, let me not bring
Mhm.
it. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
get one. I'm gonna get another one for
Replace
sure.
that. Replace
I
that.
am.
Don't throw it away. If anything,
Mm.
sell it if you ever get rid of it again, or rent it out to
I
people.
know.
That's a moneymaker right there, girl.
I know. I was stupid. Girl, I don't know. Oh, energy. So I was like, let me go ahead, bring this
I
new
feel
energy.
you.
But
I
I'm
feel
getting me a
you.
new one. I'm getting it off your website for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. I
Support
appreciate
support
that.
her, y'all. Please support her. Go follow her. Show her so much love. Watch all her videos. Y'all can learn something. Cause I was like, I ain't got no pole, but I was on top of my little kitchen counter. I was like,
Oh yes, you don't need a pole.
I
There's a
don't
bed. I got a video dancing with my curtains, girl. Like you don't need to have the pole. You don't need it. I'm
yes,
barely polling these days. I'm mostly just dancing. So yes.
yes, 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 yes. All right, girl. Well, you have a wonderful night. Everybody,
You do
thank
the
you for tuning
same.
in. See you,
Thank
girl.
you. Bye.
Bye.